Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. I know it's early. I want to sleep early, getting up earlier, getting more out of my days these days. I hope you guys do the same. Good morning. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to the legendary Illmatic by Nas. It's been 32 years. April 19th, 1994, Illmatic came out. And Illmatic was one of the projects that brought the East back. 1994 was a magical year. I should have had on my 1994 hat this morning that I got from Shaheem. 1994 was a magical year for hip hop music. Mobb Deep came out in 94. Well, pardon me. The Infamous came out in 94. Mobb Deep came out before that. The Infamous came out in 94. Biggie came out in 94. Craig Mack came out in 94. I think Wu-Tang came out for 94. Enter the Stage, I believe, by Black Moon came out 94. 1994 is a very, very meaningful year in terms of East Coast hip hop music. Prior to 1994, the West dominated hip hop with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, NWA. Even the South had a great run in hip hop during this period. It was really dark for the East Coast at this time. Prior to that, everybody was listening to the West Coast and basically the Ghetto Boys and shit like that. He said the Infamous was 1995, a year later. Are you serious? I think Mobb Deep came out in 94, fam. You might be right. You might be right. It's a little foggy. I won't dispute that. You could be right. Um, he said, I feel like Virginia needs a run. Virginia got the spooks. Prior to the spooks, y'all had the opioid era, which was they was on this platform. It was three of them. They ended up, separating, and they known as the Spooks now. It's two of them, and they actually rebranded. They went from doing, the drug music, the opioid era, to more of a cultured, social conscious style of music right now. And shit, they running with Lord Jamar, so they on their righteous bag. What's up, Dom? I do not like being called OG. Call me God. Call me God. I don't like OG. OG is just too typical, man. I ain't an OG. Look at my face. Look at my skin. Look at me. I'm not an OG, man. I'm still a young nigga, man. OGs are washed up. OGs are washed up, man. It Was Written was my favorite Nas album. I agree with you in terms of which one was better. I like it. It Was Written a lot better than Illmatic, but Illmatic was just, a special moment. I remember the first time that I heard "Life's a Bitch." It was something about Az voice that it was something about Az voice that I don't know, the vibration of his voice. He had this, this very, very unique voice. And I heard a car riding down the street playing it, and the hook, "Life's a bitch and then you die. That's why we get high." I was smoking weed at this time, and I was like, "Damn, you never know when you're gonna go." It just made so much sense. It made so much sense, and listening to the song and shit, I could tell. I said, these guys is kind of like my age, like they probably a few years older than me, but the shit that they was rapping about, it just it was on point. So the first song that I was attracted to was "Life's a Bitch." That "Life's a Bitch," I don't know if that was the single, but I heard that first. And then I went and bought my just because of that song, I went and bought my own Nas CD. I didn't know who he was. I just wanted the "Life's a Bitch" song. Didn't know his reputation. I didn't know that what he did prior. I didn't know nothing about Live at the Barbecue at the time. None of that. I went to go buy the CD from Sundance, which is actually a few blocks from where I'm parked at right now. Sundance Records and Tapes. And immediately, immediately, I was attracted to One Love. One Love was just an awesome song. It was just an awesome song, man. Nas writing a letter to an incarcerated friend, and the way that he broke it, he broke that shit down, man. It was almost like a story. Like you could literally, he literally put you in the room with him as he's writing this letter and shit. And what's funny about One Love is that I ended up shooting somebody. Let me see, in '94, and I used to listen to One Love all the time. And I got myself in some trouble, and I got a visit from my lawyer, and I thought that I shot one person, and I come to find out I shot two. I had an issue with somebody. I was pistol whipping this nigga with my gun, my finger on the trigger and shit, and you know. I wasn't no expert pistol whipper and shit. Boom, the hammer went off. Then it blew this nigga top off. But when we separated, he was older than me and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried about him taking the gun from me because he was a lot bigger than me and shit. When we separated, you know what I'm saying? I continued to fire to make sure that I had some space to get away. So I continued to fire and shit. And I hit a bystander who was actually a smoker and shit. But when I was in this conference room with my lawyer, and he was telling me that I had 2 counts of attempted homicide and aggravated assault. I was like, damn. And when I got back, I was going back to my cell. I got certified as an adult for this case, but by the way, I was in the county jail, 16 or 17. And I got back to my cell, and for whatever reason, One Love popped into my head, and um, I started to sing One Love, and it's a verse on there when he says, "Tough luck when niggas get struck. Families are fucked up. Coulda got your man, but now look who you bucked up. Mistakes happen, so take heed. Never bust up in the crowd. Catch him solo, make the right man bleed." And I was like, oh my goodness. I sung that verse and I sung that song the whole summer, and everything that would have probably kept me out of the trouble that I was in was contained within that song. He said, "Never bust up in a crowd, catch him solo, make the right man bleed." Had I did this and it was just me and him, I did it in front of a whole bunch of people and shit. I wouldn't have been in the trouble that I was in. There wouldn't have been any witnesses and shit like that. Part of having a paid attorney, my attorney's name was David Ridge. He's a judge now. He told me, he didn't tell me not to shoot nobody. He told me, man, if you're gonna be doing shit like this, like wear a ski mask, like wear a mask, like you barefaced did this shit, man. You got all these people telling on you and shit, but that was all contained within the song One Love. One Love is probably my favorite song off Illmatic. As I continue to progress and listen to Nas more, all of a sudden I discovered New York State of Mind. New York State of Mind is a sonic banger. It is New York State of Mind. He's killing that shit. That's out of all of the songs on Illmatic, New York State of Mind is probably the outright banger. Um, Life's a Bitch is some smooth shit. One Love is there's lessons contained. It might be a little bit sentimental, but New York State of Mind, he's going crazy. He going crazy on that shit. That's when I started to understand like this is probably one of the great rappers, or he's gonna be one of the great rappers and shit. I never heard anything like New York State of Mind. That shit was just crazy. He said Memory Lane Reciprocal Omega. Did you see him when y'all together? Yeah, I love that shit. hold the fort down, represent to the fullest, say what up to Herb, Ice and Bullet. We ended up finding out who those guys was later on. He was writing that letter. He was shouting out the Goodfellas and shit. And the Goodfellas, I believe, was Cormega, Lake, Herb, Ice, like those guys that he mentioned those was the Goodfellas and shit. That was his little squad, or maybe, a squad that was around him growing up. Never put me in your box if your shit eats tapes. The city never sleeps. That's my shit. I'm an addict for sneakers, 20s a Buddha, and bitches with beepers. That's that shit. That's one of his best songs ever. That's one of, oh my God. He was killing that shit. Picked the Mac up, told niggas back up. The Mac spit, Lev was hitting niggas, one ran. I made a backflip, heard a few chicks scream, my arm shit, couldn't look. He was killing that shit. Tried to cock it, it wasn't shooting. Now I'm in danger. Tried to pull it back and see 3 bullets caught up in the chamber. So now I'm jetting through the building lobby, and it was full of children. Probably couldn't see as high as I be. Oh my God, that's that shit. I'm going to listen when I get up off of here, man. But today is the birthday of Illmatic, man. Just an incredible offering. From Nas. Some people say it's his best joint of all time. I think that it was written, but it's definitely one of his good joints, for real. Let me take a trip down memory lane. Shorty laugh was cold blooded as he spoke so foul. Only 12 trying to tell me that he liked my style. Then I rose, wiping the blunt's ash from my clothes and froze, only to blow the herb smoke through my nose. Hey yo, since we talking about a New York state of mind, I was actually in the movie theater watching Belly, and I was the first person, I believe, in the whole movie theater, and definitely in the row that I was sitting in. I was sitting in a row with a few niggas, and I had a female with me, but we went to see Belly together. It was me and a couple of my homies, and we all had girls with us. And I'm watching this scene in Belly unfold and shit, and I was like, "Yo, this is Shorty Doo Wop." I'm like, "This is Shorty Doo Wop." My man, like, "What?" I'm like, "Man, this is the nigga. This is the nigga that he was rapping about in the song and shit." He's like, "What you talking about?" He said, "Only 12 trying to tell me that he liked my style." Did you hear him? He told Nas on the bench. He was like, "Yo, I like his style and shit." I was like, this is Shorty Doo Wop and shit. I was like, "Oh, that shit's crazy." So they actually acted out that verse, and they actually acted out that verse in the movie Belly. You know what I'm saying? It might have took some of y'all a little time to pick up on um that whole scene. He's When I comes back home, nobody's out but Shorty Doo Wop rolling 2 Phillies together in the bridge we call them ooh wops. He said, "Nas, niggas Kobe busting off the roof, so I wear a bulletproof pack of black trade ooze." He was like, "Yo, man." He pulled out the gun and shit. You know what I mean? He was smoking with him. Yeah. And then he gave him the chain at the end of the conversation. He said, left him some jewels that he could sell if he chose. Words of wisdom from Nas. Try to rise up above. Keep your eye out for Jake. Shorty Rock, one love. Incredible. 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 He said, was Shorty and One Love Sherm? Nah. Shorty that was in he was actually on YouTube. I think he was homeless. He ended up going to do some time. He was from Queens. He was a dark skinned nigga. He ended up going to do some time. I think he did a lot of time in the New York State prison system. But he was just on YouTube and social media like a year or so ago, saying that he's broken, his life is fucked up, and he was trying to reach out to, I think, Hype Williams or Nas to try to get some help. And he wasn't able to catch up with him and shit. But nah, that was this dark skinned dude from Queens and shit. Oh, I'm asking, was the story about Sherm? Nah, Sherm would have been too young at the time for that to have been Sherm. That could have been somebody like Lake or Draws, or one of them older niggas and shit. He said, "What's up, with Mega? Did you see him or y'all together?" Sherm would have been too young to been. It came out in '94, so he might have recorded it in '93. Whatever the case, Sherm would have been too young to been in the prison system at that time. I assumed him to be talking about somebody in the New York State prison system. Oh, he started the story saying, "What up, kid? I know shit's rough doing your bid." So it might have been Lake. Great observation. Y'all gonna definitely have me going and listening to Illmatic sometime today. I'm definitely gonna listen for sure, and I think everybody should listen to. But yeah, it's been 32 years, just like that. It came out April 19th, 1994. That summer, I could tell you the songs that dominated that summer because I had a whip and I had crazy CDs in my whip. Summer '94 was Nas, Illmatic. Summer '94 was the Above the Rim soundtrack, The Brat, Outkast. This is all who was out that summer. Outkast, The Brat, the Above the Rim soundtrack, Nas, uh, probably Big Mike. Yeah, I think Big Mike was out. Something Serious album. It was a lot of good music out that summer, but Nas definitely stood out. I didn't, you know, I don't know if I thought that he was gonna go on to be the person that he ended up being. Like here it is, 32 years later, and he's one of the kings, one of the best that ever did it. But that was his first joint. Scarface. Nigga don't believe that song. The brothers, gangsters don't live that long. I was gassed off that when I shot that nigga. Don't blame me, blame your man Gotti, so you can feel the hand of the dead body. That was out. Yeah. He said, "That's crazy." I was listening to Big Mike like a motherfucker. I was bugging. Man. I was young, get money, strapped. I was tripping for real. And I'm lucky that just a few more inches I'd have blew that nigga brains out and shit, man. Bugging out about a chain. It's about a fucking chain. He said it's crazy when Hove hit it was all over. Nah, it took some time. Jay-Z came out in '96, which is 2 years later. And then it took some time for Jay-Z to move into position like that. He had to, them Queens niggas was a movable object. Like when Queensbridge got to going and shit, it was about them, period. Like they had a sound, them niggas had a look. Like that's all. The niggas that was around me, we ended up becoming Queensbridge disciples. Like it was nothing more important than um Esco and them, Capone and Noriega, Mob Deep, um, Cormega, Nature. I remember when Nature came out, like Nature was a big fucking deal. People was just like, damn man, like these niggas just can't miss. Like that's all you was hearing. Queensbridge. Like you, even if you had never been there, I didn't even visit Queensbridge till like 20 years later. But you couldn't tell me in my mind that I hadn't been there because I lived that shit. I listened to that music every fucking day. Queensbridge music actually had a dress code and shit. Like we dressed like that shit. You know what I'm saying? Helly Hansen, sneak the Uzi on the island in my army jacket lining. The army jackets, the Timberland field boots. You know what I'm saying? Um, the Avorexes and shit. Like that was that Queensbridge shit, man. Like on the highest level. Like that's what you see in the magazines. Like I can't really recall seeing nobody else or checking for nobody else all like that in magazines. It was other niggas out like at the time, but once them Queensbridge niggas got in a position, them niggas was problems for a long time. Like, just think about it. There was enough of them for them to put out a whole project, Queensbridge Finest. That's all of them and shit together and shit. Nobody else was deep like that. Them niggas was deep as hell. He said Queens niggas wore Scullies with the brims though. We all wore them. They used to sell them joints on the block. Go look at them old Wu Tang videos, all so simple, and them hats that you see in them videos, them hats, them ski masks with the straps, the Velcro and shit. They used to sell that shit on the block. Niggas used to pull up and pop the trunk, man, and they had that shit in their trunk. Like everybody, like this is an era when niggas was outside selling drugs and shit. So when the niggas pulled up with clothes and shit, the vendors pulled up with clothes. Everybody that was out there getting money was buying that shit. You know what I'm saying? Illmatic and Infamous was a perfect blend. Yeah, for sure. Cool G Rap had niggas wanting to work for the mob. Thank RZA for the fangs and the fronts. Damaged Jeans was a little bit before that. Damaged Jeans was 1991, 92. By 94, Damage was over with Pimp. 94 was Guess. Guess, period. That was like the highest caliber blue jean you could have had back then. Guess jeans was bigger than Polo. You wouldn't even Polo jeans. You wouldn't even. It was no contest and shit. You know what I'm saying? Nas is the greatest ever. He's one of the greats. He is. Jetted out, Royal Flush, iced out medallions. Another Queens guy, and I believe Royal Flush and Capone from Capone and Noriega, they cousins and shit. It was a run, man. Mike Geronimo, it was a long run. They had a long, long run for real. I didn't even listen to anybody else until like it just took some time for it took some time. It did. It really did. When I dress, there's nothing less than guess. Right, right. Good morning, everybody. Subscribe to the channel. I uploaded a video before I got on here. I actually uploaded it last night. It's 13 minutes long. I'm introducing my new podcast platform. It's called the Prodium. I got two podcasts now. Not when you think podcast, you should be thinking audio. The Dribble podcast, I'm on season 4 of that. That's been out for 3 years and shit like that. But the Prodium is my intellectual conversations and shit. Prodium stands for professional and Prodium. I combine them together, and it's going to be a lot of sophisticated content on there. And the video that I uploaded last night was me recording an episode, so you should go check it out. The links is in the description if you want to go and listen in. It's fire. Queens did have a good run all the way from LL to 50. Yeah, I like Nas' song Poison better than Project Windows. Project Windows is just flawless. Flawless. I'm not. I would have to hear the song that you referring to as Poison. I believe I heard it before, but Project Windows is one of Nas's like real flagship songs and shit. I remember the first time I heard Project Windows, I heard it in like a neighborhood bar and shit. A DJ played that shit. That shit just had everybody just mesmerized. The song, the melody, Ron Isley singing and shit, flawless. When you come to Pittsburgh, I moved here from Buffalo 6 years ago. I used to buy your DVDs at King City. I just was in the bird the other day, man. I went to the Pirates game. People keep asking me, am I coming to the NFL draft down there? I don't know, man, because I don't hang out. I wouldn't be doing nothing but spending money, like probably going out to eat and shit like that. But I don't party. I don't smoke weed. I don't drink. So I'm a little socially awkward. I wouldn't have anything to do. I end up in my hotel or Airbnb doing nothing. Shout out to Omar at King City. I think he's talking about what goes around from Stillmatic. I'm glad that old music faded out. Today's music is way better. Today don't even got no music, man. You bugging. I can't, and I'm a music connoisseur. From the off the top of my head, I can't say like, yo, go listen to this person amongst the new people and shit. Like, I'm not talking about the new underground. I listen to all of them niggas, but the shit that you talking about, DJ Clue referred to as the swag rappers and shit like that. I don't listen to that shit. I can't tell you what's going on with what do they call Boss Man D-Lo and NBA Young Boy and all. I don't listen to none of that shit, man. I can't tell you like one song from the niggas. I'm serious. I'm probably if it came on, I probably like, yeah, I know that song, but didn't know who it was that's performing this shit because I don't be checking for it and I damn sure ain't buying it. Yeah, that's they call it swag rap. I don't know where that term came from. I don't. Just a bunch of online characters that happen to rap. Yeah, that shit booty. I don't listen to that shit at all. Shit garbage. Good morning, everybody. I listen to Illmatic, and it's 32 years later. Today is the birthday of Illmatic. I wonder, if you're gonna see any other media outlets acknowledge the birthday of one of the greatest hip hop offerings of all time. I can't listen to Future, Dirk, none of that. New music has no staying power at all. 30 days tops and it's on to the next. Nah, it don't got no hang time at all. When we was listening to, the people that I was mentioning to you, um, everybody that I mentioned to you earlier, Big Mike, Outkast, um, Nas, Wu Tang, Mob Deep, CNN, that shit was dope enough for us to listen to into the next release. You know what I'm saying? Like we was listening to that shit until the next CD came out, which might be a year or two later. And everybody was listening to it. If you went to a party, you was gonna hear it there. You was gonna hear it in passing cars. This is what the fuck we listened to. Wasn't nothing gonna remove that shit up out the deck until the next hot shit came out. It's a different time. What means to you don't mean to the young generation. My platform ain't engineered for the young generation. I don't identify with what the young generation is into. When I don't dress like a young nigga, I dress like 1994. I don't use drugs and shit. I don't take no fucking pills and shit like that. I don't got a gun. I don't got nothing in common with the new generation whatsoever, man. And I don't wanna connect with them niggas. You know what I'm saying? If they tune in here and listen to something that attracts them, more power to them. But when I get on here, I'm not performing for no young niggas and shit. I'm not speaking to no young niggas. I don't even speak to young niggas too much in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like besides the ones if I seen you grow up or something like that, I might, acknowledge you and say something to you, but I don't even talk to young niggas. I don't. I swear to God, I don't talk to young niggas. I don't. You don't know what the fuck gonna come out them niggas' mouth. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what type shit they on, man. That dude from think he's from Brooklyn. He just got killed by a 16-year-old and shit. Talking to young niggas and shit. In order for that to escalate that way, he was talking to that young nigga. If he wasn't talking to him, he probably would still be alive. It's my understanding that Shorty popped him because he was smoking around his 16-year-old. He was 16. His baby mom was pregnant, and dude was smoking around her. I don't know if he smoked a cigarette, he was smoking weed, but I guess young blood had a problem with him smoking while Shorty was pregnant. He probably told the nigga, yo, you got to put that out. You know what I'm saying? If he knew what I know, when that young nigga told him to put that shit out, he would have put it out and just left up out the house and shit. Because no matter how you feel, you're a visitor. I was the 16-year-old, in the same house with my mom, married to a nigga. You know what I'm saying? You was not my father. I don't love you, my nigga. She love you and shit. That's the only reason that you here and shit. You know what I'm saying? And don't say nothing to me because I'm gonna go off on the deep end because I'm mad. I'm mad that she not married to my daddy and shit. And that's how young niggas be feeling. So he got popped. He don't even know he had that shooting was on reserve for him. Like, I wish this nigga would. And young niggas think just like that. I told y'all that. I was on here a couple of weeks ago and I was telling y'all about an incident I had with a chick, and her son came in the room, was like, is you all right? I got the fuck up out that bitch house right away. You ain't gonna have to question whether your mama all right around me no more. Period. The life that I'm gonna protect is gonna be my own all the time. I moved out of the country. I go to the hood, or should I say back to my city, only for my kids. I calm the area down when they see that swammy under my shirt. He said his stepson killed him. That wasn't his stepson, man. That's a terminology. I believe that terminology come from European people. Stepson. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. If he didn't come out your dick, that's a stranger and shit. If y'all happen to be cordial or something like that, then cool. But when you get to the part of, the stepson and shit like that, when you process son in your mind, you might feel that you can say something to this little nigga, and you can't, because it's not your son, and he don't want to hear it. Why? Because you was not his father, and the minute that you say something to him, he gonna buck, just like Shorty did to him and shit. I just was talking about Shorty Do Up from Belly and shit. I was in the movie. He said, I wish I understood that earlier in life. I'm glad I'm licensed to conceal. I spend my money on my gun room and fashion. New York State of Mind was the one, lyrically and atmosphere in the background. Bottles busting and shit like that. These young niggas is dangerous. Be careful with these Thundercats. Yes, they is. Don't waste your time, man, trying to remedy that. Like, them niggas is bugging out. Subscribe to the channel. He said, what's the topic? Today is, let me see if this will work. Today is the birth date of this classic right here. April 19th, 1994. Nas dropped this classic piece of material. A lot of these tracks is produced by DJ Premier, I believe. There was other people on there producing. I think MC Search might have some credits on there, but people primarily associate Nas' debut with DJ Premier, I believe. He said it's like two good songs on that album. Nah, it's a little bit more than that. I think the reputation of it was kind of exaggerated for a period of time. They was like it's the greatest rap album of all time. It probably wasn't even the greatest rap album of 1994. It was probably shit out in 94 better than that. Yeah, Scarface is definitely better than Illmatic in 94. That forget the name of it. Whatever, that CD that had the Hand of the Dead Body on there with Ice Cube and Scarface, that was way better than Illmatic. But people will lead you to believe that Illmatic was the best thing since sliced bread. It's not true. It had about 5 joints on there, in my opinion. Some people might, and I think it only had like 10 songs or something like that, maybe 11. But only, in my opinion, only like 5 of them joints was like that, maybe 4 or 5. That's my opinion. But it definitely wasn't. It was written. Large Professor. Yeah, the Diary. That's the name of it. I think Only Built for Cuban Links was better. It was definitely better. You can't really compare the two because Nas Illmatic, I think he only had one feature, which was AZ, and Only Built for Cuban Links. Nas is on that joint, and damn near the whole Wu Tang was on that. Yeah, the whole Wu was on Only Built for Cuban Links because um, between the guillotine and ice cream, that's all of them and shit. Gangsters don't lay that long. That was that shit. My man said I turned 35 today. Illmatic, Purple Tape, and the Infamous. Give me your three. Purple Tape is number one. The Infamous is two. And Illmatic is three. That's what yeah, that's how I feel about it. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Have a wonderful Sunday. I'm taking a day off. I've been in the gym all week. Oh, y'all see how big I'm getting this shit. Low fat content. Happy birthday to you too, homeboy. My man said I couldn't rock with Havoc. The old Red Man had some shit around that era too. He did. He did. He did. He did. That time flew by like a motherfucker. I was a teenager. I was in high school still when Illmatic came out. But actually, it was my last year of high school because, like I said, I got a shooting and I never went back to high school after that. I ended up getting my GED in the county jail. Should a man keep a rotation? Yes, a man should keep a rotation. You should. Most women got a rotation. They just say he just ain't. He might not be on active duty, but most chicks already know who your replacement is. If you fall out with your bitch today, it's a nigga that she done already established in her mind. She probably done already discussed it, had a discussion with her homegirls about him and shit. Who will put them shoes on. So, and it's proven that men and women they recover from relationships differently. What I mean by that is this: when a man and a woman has a falling out, if a guy was really into this bitch, he be looking for the day of reconciliation. He be looking for the day when he could lay back down with this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Be next to this bitch again. Now he might like other girls, but the one, everybody know who the one is. You be thinking that it's gonna get fixed. Then you hear somebody say, I just seen that bitch at the movies with, and you just be crushed. Like, I can't believe this shit, man. I thought we was gonna get back together. She's already gone. She's I've seen that. I've seen that repeatedly. I've lived that reality. You know, I lived that reality in real life. You know what I'm saying? You be expecting for it to be a reconciliation, and they be gone, like almost like you never existed and shit. So to spare yourself of that, just have you something, man. Y'all don't know a lot of shit that I say on this platform. I be having to deal with in real life. Like I be telling chicks, don't watch my live streams, man. Like Jamil and Gully TV is two separate entities, man. Jamil is Jamil. Gully TV, there's no sugarcoat. You know what I'm saying? And they be bugging. They be bugging. They be tripping, yo. Like TK said, there's a new batch of graduates every year. Don't worry about no bitch. I got divorced around the time Gully was talking about the 100 push ups. I'm a demon now. Oh boy. Somebody said Havoc is trash. Y'all tripping, man. Ain't nothing trash about Havoc. I got re up on my trifecta this week. Oh, that's Chuck. Good morning to you, Pimp. I was reading your comments about your basketball career. So you was pretty nice, huh? I see you. Pops told me don't have one. You have something women call friends. Mm. Half a mil, quiet money, verse two, or throw your guns, verse choose one. I can't choose. I can't choose. I can't choose. I would have to really sit down and dissect both of them. That's my favorite rapper. I know you know that, right? He said one is close to none. Yeah, I was reading your comments, Chuck. They said you was getting busy, man. Somebody said All Eyes on Me is the greatest album of all time. I'm glad you mentioned that, right? Because there's a post on my IG. Make sure you follow me on IG at I am gullytv underscore. At I am gullytv underscore. There's a post that says, who's the best lyricist? No, it says bar for bar, who was the best? And on this picture, it has Mac 10, Silk the Shocker, Chic Luch, Shine, and MC Breed. The number one reason why I posted that is because I wanted to introduce MC Breed to my following. Most of my following is from the Northeast region, but my listening ear is universal. So I grew up, I came up through the time of MC Breed. MC Breed was the shit. And most people said on that post that Sheik Luch is the best bar for bar. That's kind of debatable because I like Shine better than Sheik Luch. I do. But the person with the best music on that post was MC Breed. And I wanted y'all to know that. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not familiar with MC Breed, you could go do your research, and that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to introduce and inform y'all of greatness. What's the name is Shine is better than Sheik Luch, yo. I don't care what y'all say. Shine's debut album was fire. And Sheik Luch never, you can't name a Sheik Luch song. You probably can name Sheik Luch verses or lock songs that Sheik Luch got off on. There's quite a few. But Sheik Luch don't have no signature song that you could speak of. Shine got cracked. He do. That first CD was like that. You said Shine album was a classic for sure. Yeah. Shine spit, but people overlooked him because of the Biggie voice. I think Shine was harder than Biggie. I'm not saying he's a better rapper than Biggie. I'm saying he was harder. The shit that he was talking about, that shit was that shit was like that. That shit was raw. That like that song, The Life. My life had its ups and downs. I don't regret nothing. Had the whole tri-state getting high. I ain't fronting at 16. I bought my first bag of dope. Used to work for Dominicans, burning out of the coat. Getting like 14 grams, a half a key at 14, man. A nigga just glad to be. That shit was raw. That shit was raw. That shit was raw. Yeah, Dear America, all of that shit. That shit was like scary and shit. Like, this nigga really like that. Like, you could smell gangster on this nigga. Bonnie and Shine was fire. Oh yeah, Mac 10 was on there. It's called The Life. Tell the devil I'm coming. Yeah, that shit was hard. That shit was hard. Graphic. Hard. Yeah. Bonnie and Shine classic. I still listen to this day. I listen to the commission. The whole album was dark. Great way to describe it. You could tell he was fresh out of them out of the slums of Brooklyn with it. The Lock's first album, Chic was the truth. Then Jada grew on me, but the Ghost was on a mission when they was dropping the Mario mixtapes. He about to do a show. He back. More or less was the only banger on the guy. I didn't like that second joint, that green CD. I think it was Godfather Buried Alive. I didn't get into that at all. That first one was like that. If y'all ain't hip to MC Breed, man, go do y'all research on him and shit. MC Breed was one of the top rappers in the early 90s. He's from Flint, Michigan. Um, One of his signature songs is called Gotta Get Mine featuring Tupac. MC Breed ended up being down with the Dangerous Crew. That was Eric Sermon, Too Short, and those guys and shit. He's on um, the remix called Buy You Some. Talk about the Spice fight. I seen that video. Somebody sent me that video. That wasn't good that somebody attacked that girl in public. Number one, she was in public, minding her business. Number two, entertainers are very weird actors sometimes. They're very strange. And shit like that is the reason why they don't be wanting to take pictures and shit like that, or be acting funny when you approach them and shit like that. They probably be fearing for their safety, but that type of shit right there that was in that video, that's gonna affect everybody. Everybody gonna be on defense and shit like that. Like, you out in a public setting, people saying what she was doing at McDonald's. Obviously, the bitch eat McDonald's. She was in there. You know what I'm saying? So, what the fuck? What type of people do you expect to encounter in McDonald's? And most McDonald's across the country, especially in major cities, the McDonald's be filled with homeless motherfuckers and shit. You don't see them type motherfuckers in Roof Chris. You know? You know? So when you go in a place like McDonald's, they got 99-cent cheeseburgers and shit like that. You got to expect impoverished people to be around that motherfucker, either in there or outside. Free Wi-Fi, all the low lifes is around there, so she kind of put herself in the line of fire just being there. He said, I seen the baby yesterday with two offensive linemen at a Starbucks on Art Street in Philly. The Locks had a best of the Locks mixtape before they had an album out. That was Chic's time. After that, it was all Jada and Pete. Do you believe in the Cam fight? I don't know. I don't know. It seemed like it's most people saying that he did it for marketing and promotion for his platform, introduce his platform to people that watch the WWE. Probably was great marketing and shit, but I don't know. I don't know. He said, I just seen homeless people in front of a McDonald's and they still building it. Yeah. I gotta get up out of here, man. I gotta go do some recording and shit, man. Make sure y'all go to the Dribble Podcast, available on all streaming platforms. I uploaded a new episode last night, and go to the Podium Discussions by Gully TV. Just type in Gully TV presents the Podium. I dropped some new shit last night. Very riveting dialogue, man. Go check it out, and go check out the video that I uploaded before this one. I'm out. Have a great Sunday. Peace.